Hi, I'm Jenny from Fitness for You. Welcome. I'm doing a couple of series of stretching videos just for you. They're geared towards different sorts of things. So today I am focusing on those that either are sat at a desk for a good portion of the day, those that are might be driving quite a lot, and also it's a great workout for after you've been for a run, whether it's a short run or a long run. So it's great for runners too. It's going to open up the hips, so if you're running like this, if you are sat at a desk or driving, you're in this position. So this is to open up the hips, and it's also for the top of the back as well. So we want to get the scapula and the top of the back working, because our chest starts to get very tight and we start to round forward. So it's about opening out here and getting those back muscles fired up. So we've got a little bit of that engagement as well in this session today. A lot of this is from my Pilates classes as well. And if you're local to me, you can obviously check out my Pilates classes on my timetable on legitfit.com. Let's get going. So you can have a mat if you want to. I don't have a mat today, but if you want to use one, you're more than welcome to. So standing at the back of your mat if you have one, coming up nice and tall, drawing those shoulders back and lengthening those arms. Got the lovely sunshine here. You're going to drop your chin in there and just feel that stretch through the neck. So keep the shoulders back, plugging in the belly. You're going to start to roll down. I want you to imagine that your spine is like links of a chain. They're just detaching one by one as you work through each vertebrae, bringing yourself down towards the floor. Your arms are really heavy, and you just go as far as you can. Now you can bend your knees more to be able to touch the floor. Depends on how limber you are. Walking your hands out then along the floor from there, trying to keep as stable as you can through the hips. We're going to take this right leg through. So you're going to hold that through. Now if you can get your heel down, great. If you can't, you can bring your knees through instead. And if you want to, you can bring that back knee down to the floor. Shoulders back, stomach tight. You're going to open up that right arm towards the ceiling. You'll really stretch up. So you're opening out the chest here. Watch we don't rotate the body though. Those hips want to stay down towards the ground. Lift and hold. Lengthen that energy out through your fingertips, lugging up towards the ceiling, and then bringing that hand down on the inside of the foot. You're going to open up on the opposite side now. Lift. So this is the harder one to hold your balance. Breathe. Again, put that back knee on the floor if you need to. Bringing that hand down, take that leg back. Opposite leg comes through. So left side, sink into the hips again. Hold that there, draw the shoulders back, and then opening up that left arm to begin with. Really reach up, open up the chest. Again, trying to bend that back knee a bit more to feel that stretch through the hip. And bringing that hand down. On the inside, trying to bury the shoulder and the knee together. Open up. Good. Pull the belly in to hold you nice and tight, continuing to breathe. Hand comes down, take the leg back. We draw back into a downward dog here. You can walk the feet in just a small little bit. And we're going to start to pedal the heels right to left. We're trying to sink into the calf muscles. At the same time, stick your tailbone right up into the air. Push back through the shoulders, lengthen there. And then draw both heels down. Soften up the knees a little bit and then start to walk yourself back. Let your head hang heavy and then slowly pull the belly button right in and start to piece our way back up to a standing position. Rolling the shoulders and then lifting the head. And we're going to go again for this. So we drop the chin in. And we're going to add on a hamstring stretch here as well at the bottom. So plug in, let yourself go, head and arms lovely and heavy. Hold it there at the bottom and then walk the hands out. We're going to take these a little bit quicker now. You can obviously do more of these if you want to. Right leg comes through. Hold, push the hips down, right arm opens. Bring that hand down, changing sides and reach. Good, bring that hand down. Take the hands on opposite side of the feet now and drop that back knee if it's not already. Sinking back into that leg. Now we don't want to sink all the way back onto the bottom because we're going to lose the stretch there through the hamstring. So we're just trying to pull back as much as we can, sticking our tailbone down away from us so we feel that pull. If it's too much, soften up the knee a little bit. And then we sink forwards. And we're going to pump this a little bit quicker. So we sink back, feel the stretch through, draw it in. One more time, sink back and draw it through. Good, bringing that leg back now, and you're going to take the opposite one through. So we go left side this time, sink down into the hips, open up that left arm, reach, open up the chest. Bringing that hand down on the inside of the foot, open up the opposite arm. Bringing that hand down, then hand on either side of the foot, back knee drops, and we sink back. We hold that stretch through the back of the leg, and then sink forwards. And again, draw it back, hold, and sink forwards into the hips. Last time for me on this side, sink through, and take it forwards. And then you're going to come back up onto your, so raise that back leg, take that leg back through, and we're going to drop to our knees. Bring the hands on either side. We're going to start to activate now our scapula and the top of the back. So we're just going to sink our way to the floor, nice and controlled. And you're bringing the hands probably in line with your eyes, making sure that your forehead is on the floor, but watch we don't roll those shoulders forwards, pulling them right back away from us. Feet hip distance apart, and you want to scoop in your tummy here, a little bit of engagement within the glutes, or a tiny little squeeze. Taking a breath in, as you exhale, your elbows and your hands are going to squeeze off the floor, and you're trying to feel like you're pulling them backwards to squeeze these shoulder blades together, so that you've got wings, and you're drawing them together as you lift, and then you're controlling them back down. And again, we squeeze up and control down. Now, we don't want the lower back to activate here. So again, tighten your core muscles by pulling up through the pelvic floor and controlling. And one more, we're going to hold it there at the top. Keep squeezing those elbows back, but keep the shoulders down. And we're going to draw that right arm forward and really lengthen out through the fingers. And then we're going to squeeze that elbow all the way back into the side of us. And again on the opposite side, left side, and we squeeze. Breathe as you go. Your neck stays in line by keeping the forehead on the floor. And we've got one more time on this left side. Good, we should be feeling something happen within the back and the shoulders now. Lengthen both together, reach, and then feel like you're pulling through, crusted with those elbows and squeezing the back together. And again, we reach and squeeze. So this is trying to activate the top of the back. The more we can activate it, the less we're going to start to round out through those shoulders. And it stops us from hunching over. Drawing it back. Let's just go one more for good luck. Drawing it forwards and pulling back, feeling as though you've got resistance there. You can use a band for these as well. Slowly lowering the arms and just relax there for a second. If you can add on here now, this is going to work slightly into the lower back, but if you're quite weak there, then by all means keep your forehead on the floor. So from that position, again, shoulders down, feet nice and relaxed. We're going to start to curl up the upper body, keeping that neck in line with our spine. So we don't want to lift the chin or drop it in towards us. And we go again. So slight scooping of the tummy, little clench at the bottom, bringing those elbows up to squeeze them back and lowering them down. And again, exhale, squeeze and lower. 2 more times. Squeeze it back, breathing and lowering. We get those shoulder blades, try and meet each other at the back. Hold this one here, lengthen that right arm and drawing it back in. Left arm, good, and squeezing it back in. Let's go 2 more, so right side and squeeze, left side and squeeze. Try both together if we can. If not, you can put your head back down, tighten the stomach, clench backwards. 2 and squeeze. 2 more for me. Lengthen tummy in tight and squeeze. Last one. Lengthen away. Squeeze, and then we lower it slowly down. You're going to push yourself off and I'm going to stretch this out. Bring yourself into a child's pose for a second, head on the floor, driving the bottom back. And then we're going to bring ourselves forward and try and bring that right knee through the middle of the body. You're going to turn the foot inwards. Now you can go as far around with this as you want to for a bigger stretch, but it depends on the range in your knee, your hip, and how tight your glutes are. So that's your bottom. So sink down into it, find a position that you feel kind of comfortable in. And we want to avoid rolling onto the bottom here. We want to keep those hips square to the floor. To start off, we're going to bring the elbows down. Now, all of these are add-ons, so just feel free to stay in the current stretch. If you can, curl that back toe underneath, and you're going to drive into that back heel. So it's giving us a little bit of leverage to push further back into the bottom. Breathe into the stretch. Then if we can, we lengthen the arms out in front, and we start to drop the head, lengthening away. From there, so you can drop that back knee if you feel more supported. Bringing that right arm out to the side. You're going to take the left one all the way over the top. And we want to feel this stretch all the way coming down the side of our lats here, side of our back. And it starts to stretch down into the lower part of the spine as well on this side. Breathe into that. Keep sinking into those hips at the same time. And then switching over. So opposite arm, right arm over the top, and let the head rest. Feel like you're pulling back away from the arm, so you do get that lovely stretch there through the side of the body. Bringing it back to the centre, and you can walk your hands in, make sure that back knee is down now, elbows are in. Then we come up onto our hands, and we're just going to hold it here, drawing the shoulders back and trying to sink a bit lower. So we should feel a little bit more mobile in that hip there now. Bringing that back leg up, I'm going to swap it out and bring it through. Now, if you have a lot of knee issues here, this might be quite uncomfortable for you. So always message me and I can give you an alternative for these. Bring the elbows down to the floor. And again, you can curl that back toe underneath and start to push back for that leverage there. Feeling that pull right on the outside of your bottom here. You might get it on the inner thigh as well, into the groin. And then if we can, lengthen the arms away. Sink further down into it. And again, option, bring that back knee down now. And then we take that left arm over the top and the right one comes over. This helps to stretch further. Breathe into it. Bring that opposite arm wide and other one over the top and sink. But bringing it then back to the centre, bringing those elbows in, and then come up onto the hands, lifting tall, shoulders back, and then curl it, keeping that toe hold underneath. You're just going to bring yourself back into that all fours position now. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. This is to open out through the chest here and also to stretch out through the scapula as well. So making sure that that body is lovely and stable, watching we're not dipping into the shoulders, keeping everything pulled back in the neck in line. Breathe in and then exhale, bring that right arm up towards the ceiling. Just watch that you don't try and push the hip out to the side here to help you. You've got to keep it central to try and make that nice long line. Don't worry if you can't go all the way, if you're already there, that's okay. Bring that hand, scoop it underneath now and drop it underneath that arm. Head down to the floor. You can sink back slightly if you need to. And you're just going to kind of pull yourself back ever so slightly, feeling that stretch in the outside of the shoulder blade. Breathing in, let's go again, opening back up to the top. We should lengthen a little bit more each time. Scooping it underneath and dropping down. Pulling back slightly. Only go to your range, guys. Keeping the tummy nice and tight. Final time, back up to the top. Lift again, watch those hips haven't moved. And bring that hand down. Switching over sides, open out that left arm and lift. Draw the shoulders back. Really feel that opening through the chest. And scoop it under and through, dropping that shoulder, pulling back slightly. Feeling that nice stretch through here, through the outside of the shoulder. And then back up to the top. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Watch the hips, pull it all in. You're going to work your waist here at the same time. And bringing it back through. Good, draw back. Enjoy the stretch. And back up to the top. Final time, reach. And then bringing that hand down to the floor. You're going to lower yourself back down to the ground now. Your arms are going to be wide out in line with your shoulders. You're going to look over that right hand and you're going to bend that right knee. Now, slight squeeze in the bottom. And you're going to lift the knee off the floor and bring it up and over, trying to get the toe down toward the ground and the knee to open out. Don't worry if you've only gone to there. You're just trying to go as far as possible. Bringing it back up and over, relaxing the foot down, and then turning the head to face the opposite way. Lifting the opposite foot, squeeze the bottom, lift the knee, lift up and over, and you might get a nice clunk there through the spine. This is rotating the back and opening out the hip. Bringing it back up and over and down. Just do that one more time either side. Turn, bend, lift up and over. Keeping that opposite hip down still on the floor as best you can. Obviously your right shoulder will lift, but your left stays down. Lift up and over. Place the foot down, switching sides. Bend, squeeze, lift and over. This is lovely. And bringing it back up and over the way. Floating that leg down, and again push yourself off the ground if you can, scooping the belly in and bring yourself back into that all fours position. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, now tilting that pelvis towards you, plugging the tummy in nice and tight, rounding out the upper back. Now take a big inhale, feel that expanse of the rib cage stretching through the upper back, and then slowly start to tilt away, lifting the tailbone first. Letting the belly travel down towards the floor, slowly lifting the head, drawing the shoulders back and holding that there. Dipping into the shoulder blades, keeping the arms straight, pushing back out and then curling back through. Make this movement as smooth as you can, trying to work through all of the spine. Plugging in, drawing the chin, and that big inhale. Exhale, tilt away, lifting the tailbone, slowly lifting the head, drawing the shoulders back, dipping into the shoulders, bringing it back up the way, and then coming back to a flat back position. Curling the toes underneath now. I want you to walk your hands back towards you, bringing yourself into that little ball, hands in front of you, dropping your chin, and then pushing your heels down. Now to stretch out the IT band, particularly relevant for runners, and actually if you've been sat down a lot, you're going to try and straighten out the legs just as much as you feel comfortable to do so, keeping that head heavy. Walking your hands around to the outside of your right foot, but without bending the knee and shifting the body weight. I'm going to hold that there. You should be able to feel that down the right side of the leg. Walking it back to the centre, and then we go opposite side. Pushing back into those heels. Really trying to lift the tailbone. If your legs start to really tremble, obviously ease off the stretch slightly. Bringing the hands back to the middle, holding that position there. And if you can straighten out your legs, great. If you can't, cross over your hands anyway. I'm going to rock from side to side, easing through the lower spine, letting go of that upper body. Really swing round. And then you're going to relax it there in the middle. You should go a little bit further. Soften up the knees if they're not already. Pull the belly in. Slowly curl up to a standing position. Restacking the spine. Rolling the shoulders and lifting the head. Keep the arms lengthened down by the side of you. And you're going to drop that right ear to the right shoulder, stretching down the neck, lengthening through that left hand. Bringing it back to the middle. Left ear to left shoulder, lengthening out through the right hand. Bringing it back to the centre, bending the knees, circling the arms round, lifting up really tall, keeping that rib cage dropped. Palms of the hands face out. You're going to circle all the way back round. And then at the bottom, we're just going to roll our shoulders back and down for 1 and for 2. And you should feel a little bit looser there now. I hope you enjoyed the session. Obviously, repeat it as much as you need to. You can do it any time of the day. Enjoy, guys, and I'll see you really soon. Take care.